was no cornfield, no memory, no grave. Come with me.
All right. Well, I'm glad you guys are here because I can't look at today's crazy stories without you. And my Lord, do we have some crazy stuff. Last night on DLive, we saw the stupidest experiment ever. We'll look at that later. We're going to start right here at one of our old topics that we debunked a long time ago. We proved that it was honestly and actually and provably a troll that was behind one of the dumbest conspiracies of the end of 2017 into 2018 and still kicking in 2019. Turns out they've been getting some heat about how after years of nothing happening in their conspiracies, the family members are getting turned upon. The people that believe in these conspiracies are getting divorced. They're losing relationships. They're not talking to their mothers and fathers because they're depressed over being promised things for years and nothing happening. Just like with the Flat Earth movement, just like with all these other crazy conspiracy movements. So how do they make it onto my show? Well, of course, my show tends to look at all the stupid things that are happening on the internet. We like looking at strange. We like looking at mysteries. We like looking at weirdness. We like looking at the crazies. And all of that seems to find its way onto our show every night. Because if I don't cover this stuff daily, you're going to miss out. So I'm going to try to keep it compact. I'm going to try to keep it to the point. Try to get a good replay for you for this show. Let's get right into it. UNIRock Live, 11 p.m. on the East Coast of the glorious United States of America. It is July 11th of 2019. Let's roll. It's time for our nightly live talk show with all the crazy, stupid stuff on the internet in one place here on UNIRock. Now, I told you we're going to start right here, okay? We're going to start right here with these conspiracy movements destroying people's relationships. But can we look at one article before we go there? Can we please? I saw an article pop up in the stupid, you know that I always try to feature the stupidest crimes of the day section. Can we look at this stupid crime that popped up on the screen right here? Babysitter transported to the hospital after inserting a baby that wasn't hers into her vagine. This is not a joke, I don't think. I don't know. It could be. Hold on. So they say in Cincinnati, a 31-year-old woman was admitted to the University of Cincy Center after a 14-month-old toddler got stuck in her vagine. Now, this story got sent to me, but I want to make sure you look at who sent it. World News Daily Report, where facts don't matter. Does that mean it's a real story or a fake story? Probably fake, all right? But let's take a quick look just before we go. That's why I'm going to call this one out before we get going. Latifah Brown called 911 at 9:30 last night, reporting that she had a baby stuck in her you-know-what. The operator assumed that she was giving birth and dispatched an ambulance. The paramedics had quite a surprise when they saw that what was actually happening. One of the paramedics, Brian Whitmore, revealed the incident in an interview. The little boy wore diapers and pajamas, but had his legs and abdomen stuck inside the lady. Anyway, this is a fake story, a fake news story, of course. I just want to get that out of the way, but okay, so let's jump over here. So it turns out that Q, let me start. You know what? I keep forgetting. Not everybody knows what this stuff is. So in the world of regular conspiracy, a movement came in that was trying to tell people that Trump was the God president and that anyone that was a Democrat was evil and casted magic spells in the woods at night. Called Q. Jordan Sather, of course, is the guy that went from 12,000 subscribers to 200,000 subscribers thanks to this stupid conspiracy. Q ruins relationships? Ha! No. When you start to wake up, you can't handle low vibe people in your life who won't give up the fantasy land lies. Sometimes your relationship with them may change. It's not Q, it's them. Nice try, Vice. So what does he mean by nice try, Vice? Well, obviously Vice did an article. People tell us how Q destroyed their relationships. Now, I don't like how he doesn't realize it, but he's admitting that the article is real. He's admitting the article's true. He's basically admitting to everything in the statement he made. It's so dumb. Like, you're not saying that Vice is lying or anything like that, because he said this. When you wake up, you can't handle low vibe people in your life who won't give up the fantasy land lies. So let me get this straight. You're born into a family and you would do anything for your family, live or die for your family. You get me? You protect them with your life. You really spend all of your time with them. It's them that take care of you. They choose to have you. They don't just go throw you in a river or something. And then, like, you know, because of your parents, grandparents, and your family, that's the life you have. So just because you are believing what a random anonymous person says on one of the message boards of the internet, you should then look at anyone that doesn't also believe what you believe as a low vibe person that you shouldn't have to handle, because they won't give up fantasy land. To me, it sounds like until you prove you're crazy, you're in fantasy land. And it also sounds like Vice is correct in this. So what did Vice say? Let's go to Vice and I'll tell you what Vice said. But before we get there, I want to see what some of the comments say here, because we are, of course, in the Q Cult headquarters, one of the best subreddits that exists, where it shows you all the dumb stuff that these dummies are doing. Says the drug addict who preaches drinking bleach. By the way, this has a kid, and I hope CPS for a couple weeks, when he started to push that drinking bleach would cure any of your health issues. Not that it would create health issues, that it would cure them. And I was debunking him, showing him that no, it's not. Your magical miracle supplement isn't magical. It's not a miracle, and it doesn't cure any of those things. You probably remember those streams. Man, this is some self-aware wolves type stuff. I've never been to self-aware wolves, but I'm gonna go subscribe to it real fast. I'm gonna add it to my list of subreddits. Aren't you the ones who raised us? Blah, 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 blah. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna like this subreddit. Sounds like a true incel. Yeah, no, it does, doesn't it? Okay, so let's move forward here to a Vice article. Now, I'm gonna say this before we move in. I hate Vice. I don't like Vice. I don't like CNN. I don't like any of those. I do think they are fake news. I think they push a lot of, they're just as bad as some conspiracy theories, in my opinion. In fact, they're almost like the opposite of a conspiracy theory. They're just as extreme as the other side. So I just want to make sure you know that. I actually look at the source that's giving the, that the article is linking to. That's what you have to do for every story now. There is no trusted source out there in the world, because they all play to political machinations. So anyway, if you can verify the source of something and you can prove that something's true, then the article's worthwhile if you see through the bullshit. That's how I feel. And in fact, the sheer fact that he admitted that this is true in his response, let's see what it says. So Vice says they spoke to several people who have stories to tell about this crazy conspiracy. What did they have to say? Somebody named Deb told Vice that her mother has always suffered from mental health issues, but wasn't really until recently that she was diagnosed with bipolar, a personality disorder, and PTSD. Deb's parents believe in the Q thing, and it started when they decided to get rid of cable TV and watch YouTube. My mother, in her mid-60s, and she is a cult member, it has made dealing with her mental issues harder. She had a hard time dealing with the real world. Now the real world is so much worse for her because of the horrible things that the cult says is going on, and they don't believe her. She doesn't believe the family when they try to say, if you don't have proof for it, you shouldn't believe it if it's said on the internet, even if it's a conspiracy theory. It goes both ways. I've tried and tried to show her facts, only to have fake news thrown in my face. How do you disprove anything when everything that's different from what the Q cult says is considered fake news? I asked her how she could believe somebody that doesn't use his real name How can you believe someone who has to have everything he says decoded by people? Faith was her answer. Follow the plan, and you'll see when the mass arrests happen. Even though they said they were supposed to happen before 2017 ended. They forget these things, don't they? And Trump will save the world and be the hero. I found it more plausible if she had said aliens are going to land on the White House lawn. My father follows it too. He's just not as pushy as my mother. He's been doing a lot better now that I've found him a hobby. Not being on YouTube has helped. It's the ones with deep mental disorders that really stick with it. And I agree, and we found that out ourselves when we reported on this initially. I can't really spend any time with my mother because all she wants to talk about is Q, and I refuse. We used to go swimming at the lake, go shopping, have lunch, or just do mother-daughter talks. But that doesn't happen much anymore. I dread talking to her. I avoid her, and I love her and care. But this cult crap has driven a wedge that is there even when we don't talk about it. So, what does Deb say in her conclusion? I've done my research, I've watched the videos, and my conclusion is that this person who claims to be Q is nothing more than a LARPer, live-action role player who couldn't come up with an original thought if they tried. Everything is taken from other conspiracies or straight from movies and TV. All they had to do was add a little bit of truth, a dash of occult, a few villains, and a hero, and we have it. Which is so true. I love the way they describe it. We can't ignore the danger that it poses for the upcoming elections. You better believe each and every one of Q's followers will be voting, including my mother, who hasn't voted in an election since Nixon. And I do think that's a key part to these types of political conspiracies, but I won't go on any rants tonight. You know me. They'll be voting with info that they have from a liar. And in my mind, that's worse than Russian interference. If I could get my hands on the piece of shit that started Q, I might end up in jail. This person made my mother's life sadder and our relationship almost non-existent. Vice moves on to talk to somebody named Jane. What Jane says? Well, let's see. Jane had been with her husband for 8 years. They just bought a house together. Then one day in late 16, they started bringing up Q and the deep state conspiracy. Jane says she's not positive. They mean 2017, obviously. She's not positive where it all stemmed from, but it may have come from his friendship with a co-worker. From the moment Q was introduced, the relationship changed drastically and her husband became unrecognizable. I felt like a ground zero patient. My husband must have caught on to Q very early. It started with an argument one night that came out of nowhere. I was sitting in our kitchen smoking before bed. Everything up till the argument that night was quiet. But then he came in full throttle. He came at me freaking, berating, attacking me about this thing I'd never heard of. The Q stuff. After the first argument, which scared the hell out of me, my life got flip-flopped upside down. It became about Q from then on. Sometimes I wasn't even allowed to go to bed because I had to watch one more Q video. The minute I came in the door from work, he was sitting there with the video. He would say, "You have to have the veil lifted from our eyes, Jane. You need to know this." He quizzed me because he wanted to make sure I actually watched and paid attention. I wonder which video he played. I wonder if it was Jordan's video. Probably, right? Wonder if he watched the Bleach video. I mean, if he's going to believe everything else the guy says, he probably believes the Bleach stuff, right? I can't pinpoint where exactly his obsession started, but all of a sudden it seemed he would be watching a YouTube video and then become enraged or go into hysterics. All of these breadcrumbs and the things he was reading, these posts, YouTube videos, took control of his entire day. He got in trouble at his job, the fire department. He was posting terrible things and tirades on Facebook. I've probably shown you some of his tirades. I love those things. They're really stupid and funny at the same time. Our home became a very hostile environment. I was a robot to him. I was brainwashed. There were days I was going to work and he would call and scream to try to make me come home because I was going to go out and get beeped or martial law was going to break out. At home, he would follow me around with a phone trying to get me to watch these YouTube videos so I could see. I was scared to death because his whole personality changed. During one of the tirades, I told him I was going to take a shower. Showers are the one place I thought he'd leave me alone. This time he followed me, and as I tried to close the door, he got his arm in, holding the phone in my face while playing a video. That's so dumb, dude. It was probably like, you know, Dustin Nemo's like, make sure you donate a bunch of money to me so that I can change everybody's mind and write my book. I want to be an author. Hey. Okay. That was the first time ever I had my cell phone in hand ready to call 911 on my own husband. So one day he went up to take a nap, and I decided to go out and grab dinner. Basically, he called and flipped out and sent a million text messages. Let me see. Let's go to the end of her. Busy. I don't want to hear death metal. I had a little bit of an internet hiccup. Just want to make sure we're back in here. In fact, it is somebody sitting in a basement. Jane, his name is Coleman. To this day, I still don't know what to do. I survived this thing somehow and was able to get out. I fear for the people in the world if this is what's happening to men and women and families out there. Then we've got Joan. She met her boyfriend on Match.com, which I know it's not bad to meet somebody on the internet, but make sure they're not into these types of crazy conspiracies before you move in with them. I'm serious, man. Because if they're believing this bullshit, it just means they have no way to discern facts from somebody's opinion. They just believe anything they'll hear. So they had an amazing first date, and even though they were on opposing sides of the political spectrum, they moved in. They called their relationship the perfect imperfect life. They would often discuss the next 30 years they were going to spend together, until I started hearing about Q, which quickly became a big, deep, dark rabbit hole for the husband. He's a smart man. He had 2 college degrees, owns a business, and was a great dad. Was a great dad. Ooh, she's already talking in the past tense here. And he probably has a lot of money to throw at online personalities. I knew Spygate, the idea Obama tried to spy on Trump, was really intriguing to him. He liked to connect dots between all these players, but then it became the pizza thing and the other thing and the tribunals and who was going to be hung for treason. God knows he tried to red pill me. I saw all the literature. I saw more YouTube videos on the Great Awakening to know that it was clearly a hoax. It was started by a handful of gamers and continues now to this day, even though the original founders aren't involved. I was not going to buy into that, and I was told, I can't save you because you're not woke. Of 3 years we were together, almost 2 were fraught with conversation about Q. I came home from work one day to find a huge poster about 4 feet by 4 feet tacked onto the wall detailing the connections. I had to go look at it every day on the refrigerator. He had a bingo-style card that he had made with all of the Democratic enemies with nooses. So fuck, dude. You're not a true American if you want somebody who just believes in a different thinking than you to meet the noose. You're just not you just don't think like an American if that's the case. Sorry. It was a very slow transition process from happy-go-lucky, extremely funny man. He was distinctly different at the end. I decided the only thing I could do was work with people to help expose and shine a light on Q and what it was about, who started it, and who's running it today. So I became involved with a small group of active Q debunkers. In a way, I think that made him dig his heels deeper into that world. We were in this relationship for the long haul, joining families, finances, furnishing things together. It came a total surprise to me one day when he told me that we were done. He said my politics made him dislike me, and that me working to debunk Q hurt him hugely and made him very angry. Will you let that sit in for a second? They were in love. They moved in together. They were together for a long time, and he left her. He chose to leave her when there were kids involved. And only one thing had changed. We truly used to say all the time that we meant more to each other than politics. At some point in time, that became not true anymore. Well, I'm going to help you out, Joan. That point when it became about politics were more important than your relationship, just like with what Mr. Sather said, when family members do not become as important as they used to be because they're not woke or they don't know what's going on. They're in their fantasy land, right? That point is when they start getting into this at that, hardcore level. When they start hanging out online every day, when they start believing everything they're told about it, That's when that point hit. There are a lot of people dealing with loved ones in Q. They all say the same thing. You get to a point where you can no longer reason with them. One of the first things I tell people that reach out is you cannot make fun of them. You cannot criticize their beliefs. You can keep trying to show them over and over again how their beliefs are misguided, that they're all these predictions where dates have to come and gone and nothing has happened. You can show them these things, but the minute you try to make a judgment call or say, see, look how stupid it is, you're an idiot, you know, you'll lose these people forever. It's been without a doubt the most devastating experience of my life. I loved the man with all my heart. I'd give anything to have him say, quote, I'm done with it. Come back. Let's see if we can make things work again. I'm not sure if that can ever happen, though. Okay, now I want to show you this really quick because it has to do with that stupid conspiracy. It's a vote page where they're talking about Epstein and they're all taking credit for it happening, right? And of course, the president himself gets roped into this whole topic because he's hung out with Epstein in the past, right? So this is what someone says, Kofefi fan, in response to the fact that President Trump may get pulled down with Epstein. Our wonderful president is making it appear he is involved so that the left will want to pursue. Otherwise, they'll ignore. Those of us who have already done the research know that Trump is innocent of these rumors. So just watch what happens, just like Trump wants you to. Now that we have your attention, watch what unfolds. So let's process that for a second. So Epstein gets in trouble a long time ago and then manages to spend a bunch of money and pull in a bunch of favors and get his time reduced and gets out of it. Then they go back and arrest him again now that Trump's in office because they know that Trump and Epstein have hung out a lot in the past. So this guy tries to say that he has done some research on the internet and that makes him know for a fact that Trump didn't do anything while hanging out with Epstein. So I have a problem with that because logically, how could you know that? The only research that you could possibly do is to have hung out with Trump and Epstein yourself. Like, I'm not going to say Trump did anything unless I have evidence to say it, but I'm not going to say he didn't either. Is someone come up to me and say, is it possible that Trump also did those messed up things Epstein was doing? Sure it is. I mean, he was a real close friend of Epstein's. Is it possible that Trump didn't do any of those things? Well, sure it is. So we don't know. But my point is, when they want it to happen, they make it happen. The reason I'm showing you this is because this is why it affects people and family members so much. It's just like when you get somebody who's really hardcore believing in, like, you know, anything. And I mean anything. Whether it's a cult, whether it's a religion, or whether it's something else. When they take it and attach it to the real world, when somebody attaches that thing to where other people are involved and then they don't follow facts with what it means, it's always going to result in these types of negative things. Someone's going to get too pushy. They're going to get too obsessed. They're going to get too much in someone's face. They're going to make all these things are going to happen because there's no connection to fact. And it's just an example of how someone is willing to lie to get other people to believe what they want them to believe. Those of us who have already done the research know that he's innocent of these rumors. You don't know that unless you were with him, dum-dum. Wait, are you saying you were hanging out with Epstein? Some dude here posted on the internet? Okay, so I want to bring this up on my show because in the past, I've had other YouTubers beg me to cover this story. And I don't like this story. I talked about it on Periscope when I was at the VA a few days ago, or like last week or something. I don't like this story because there's a lot of people out there that pretend that they're doing investigations into this conspiracy. This is going to be quick. I just want to say this. Like, there's a guy named Matt Couch who says he's investigating Seth Rich, and he takes thousands of dollars a month from people on the internet to investigate Seth Rich. He's just like any other liar. He's just like any other person that's doing these stupid things and never showing any results. There's not been a single thing that they've found, not a single bit of progress that they've made. They've never been interviewed, you know, on the news for discovering some fact. You get me? Sure, they may get interviewed places for what they say, but it never is factual, and people just eat it up. So what's going on here is the opposite. Now the news is descended in, claiming that they can show that the original story was pushed by a Russian propaganda agency, and therefore the part of this story that deals with its connection to U.S. politics, of course, is propaganda. I just want to let you know, I'm going to look into it. I'm going to look at what the facts are to see if the media is lying to us or if they're telling the truth. Because for all we know, it could be either side right now. All right. And just to get things rounded out, just to end talking about this dumb shit here. Also on the Qualt headquarters, if you go down, there's a post, and it's a pretty cool post. Take a look at this. Pulled up behind a cultist with a busted out back window today. So he's got like the sticker here, right? And he has no back windshield. It's just busted out. It's just a busted out windshield. Why that everyone that slaps... Let's move on. We're good. Thank you, Lord. I hate talking about this subject. I've done your weekly update with this stupid conspiracy. Let's move on to bigger and better things really quick. So before we do anything else, I want to hit the dumb criminals. Dumb criminals are one of my favorite things to look at on the internet. You guys know that if you've watched my show for long. Let's hit the dumbest criminals that I've found of the last week or so. We've got Dixon mom arrested for having kids hold the pool on top of her car. So it was hot outside, and this mother got arrested because she had the kids roll down the windows, stand up, and grab the pool so it wouldn't blow, and spoke to Jennifer. Police say Yeager drove into town to inflate the pool at a friend's house and had her two daughters right inside of... Hold the front fucking door. Now, wait. I read that wrong in the beginning. The two kids are in the freaking pool. She put the kids on the pool. I thought she had the kids hold the pool from the outside, like out the window. The kids are in the pool. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. She was arrested for 2 counts of endangering the life of a child and 2 counts of reckless conduct and a failure to secure a passenger between 8 and 16. Taken to the police department and posted bond. She had the daughters right inside of the pool to hold it down on the drive home. You couldn't put a couple bricks in it or something? You had to use your daughters? My heavens. Also in the news, and I'm going to go through this really quick, anti-vaxxers are starting to take their kids out of public school and teach them at home because they don't want their kids getting any of those nasty vaccines. Now, actually, I'm okay with this. I'm all right with this story. This is a good story. Okay, good. These kids won't get those vaccines and spread them around now because they'll be locked in their homes. And then the families that didn't get vaccinated will just end up getting the diseases themselves. It's the perfect solution to a stupid problem. Driver accused of using a 30-can beer pack as a booster seat for a 2-year-old in Ontario. He was charged with failing to properly secure a child after police say he strapped a toddler to a beer case instead of a car seat. They pulled over the 22-year-old who had not been identified. Police say the 2-year-old child was in the car sitting on a 30-pack of beer. The driver allegedly put the case on the seat and strapped the kid to it. The toddler was not injured, but police charged the driver with failing to ensure the child was restrained. The police, a child seat was brought to the driver, and Family and Children's Services was notified. Yeah. Hey, the dude was just trying to figure out a way to get the kid a booster. He didn't have enough money to get a booster seat for the kid, okay? Now, I don't know. Well, yeah, probably because he bought the 30-pack of beer instead of the car. Okay, he was like, okay, I got $20. I can either get a 30-pack or I can get a nice booster seat. I mean, I could spend $10 and get a 15-pack or a 12-pack, and I could use the other $10 to get a cheap car seat, but Nope, I need 30 of them. I need 30 beers. Screw that. A kid can ride on the case of beer. All right. A traffic stop turns up whiskey, a gun, a rattlesnake, and that was before they found uranium in the car. I wish I was making this stuff up, but this is from CNN. This is not fake news. Well, it is fake. CNN is fake news, and they are, but this is a true story. It happened. All right. In Oklahoma, police pulled over a dude named Steven. On June 26th, they searched the car and got a lot more than they bargained for. Jennings was pulled over at 11 a.m. after an officer noticed his car tags were expired. Roosevelt said, "I love your updates. Missed you, bro." And the Unifam. Hey, Roosevelt, missed you too. Thank you for the $10 super chat. The super chats are the thing that help us continue the show. Thank you so much, man. Glad you're here. Glad you're chilling with us. We appreciate you. We love hanging with you, man. Okay, now there it is. There's the dono. So, okay, he alerted the officers that there were a few other issues likely to arise after the police pulled him over. There was a gun in the vehicle, for starters. His passenger, Rachel, was charged with possession of a firearm after a former felony conviction. Rachel, what are you doing, Rachel? Stop doing that with those guns, Rachel. Then, police said the officers found the car had been reported stolen and began to dig a little deeper. And their discoveries, a bottle of Kentucky Deluxe whiskey and a rattlesnake. So now he's got a rattlesnake, a stolen vehicle, a firearm, and somebody under arrest, police sergeant said. Then they found one more thing. A canister of radioactive powdered uranium. When that happens, of course, we call in a company that deals specifically with this, and it's taken into possession. The uranium is the wild card in the situation. I would say so, yes. That wild card is a good description for uranium found in a traffic stop, yes. The rattlesnake, it should be noted, was happily stored in a terrarium in the back seat. Jennings is charged with possession of a stolen vehicle, transporting an open container of liquor, operating a motor vehicle with a suspended license, and failure to carry a security verification form. The police department have not filed charges related to the uranium because the officers are still looking into a potential motive. The rattlesnake brought no additional charges. At least he has the rattlesnake. At least the rattlesnake didn't get him in trouble, okay? Now, I've given you some pretty funny news stories, and I'm going to give you another stupid news story before we move on. I love the stupid news stories. So 4 teenagers snuck into a school before graduation and spray painted racist, homophobic graffiti. They got caught despite the fact that they wore masks because their cell phones automatically connected to the campus Wi-Fi. Oh, God, dude. They were convicted of vandalism and hate crimes. The security cameras filmed them spray painting more than 100 slurs. They had their faces covered but didn't realize the individual student IDs that they used to log into the Wi-Fi would get them in trouble. Taylor recounted the incident to the Washington Post, saying the teens intended to spray paint class of 2018, but the prank flew out of control. Instead, they tagged really bad stuff that I'm not going to read to you. And so in the end, before you commit any crimes where you actively use the Wi-Fi from the place, make sure you turn off the Wi-Fi on your cell phone. The last stupid news... Sometimes I don't even know how I get these stories. It's like people make them up, but these are real stories. Okay, last news story of the night for stupid criminals before we move on to other things. Suspect nabbed after using stolen credit cards while wearing a name tag with his real name on it. Yeah, this has to fall under one of the more stupid criminals I've ever reported. And right up there with the guy who got out of... Remember the guy that got out of jail and didn't have a ride? So he stole a car from the parking lot of the jail. That was a pretty stupid one. These guys, they must be related. There it is. Yep, he's robbing some shit while wearing a freaking name badge. Hey, I don't know what his name is. I'm sure it'll tell us. But bro, you got to take off your name badge before you try to anonymously rob a place, or they'll come and arrest you afterwards. Okay, last stupid criminal story. California law enforcement authorities arrested a man who's been using an elderly person's credit cards for months after he was spotted wearing a name tag on security footage. The Placer County Sheriff's Office posted on Facebook they had been trying to get a hold of Chris since March on felony identity theft. He was arrested July 8th after he was on security footage in a store wearing a shirt that said Chris. That was enough for authorities to track down him in 20 minutes after asking for help on social media. Remember Chris? We've been trying to get a hold of him since March after those surveillance photos showed him using an elderly victim's credit cards and identity in Sacramento. You helped us ID him within 20 minutes. They even posted a nice, pretty picture. Smile, Chris. You busted. You got jebaited, Chris. That's all for the stupid criminals for today. Let's move on to some other stories so we can get out of here for the night's live show. As always, we will be going to DLive and Periscope for the after show if you want to come hang out and talk. Nancy, thanks for the laughs. Thank you for the donation. That will help so much. I'm not kidding. Nancy, thank you. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. That's how we continue doing the show. Okay, so we've got other things to show you here. Let's move right into it. After the show, we're going to do DLive and Periscope. We're just going to be hanging out, talking to the chat, watching some stuff. We're just going to do our normal nightly thing over there. Also, if you want to join, subscribe, like the video, all that would help. Subscribe button right next to it is a join button. I cannot tell you how much it helps to join the channel. $4.99 a month. You get emojis, stuff like that to try to be like a, you know, a bonus for joining. But really what it does, it gives us a monthly revenue that replaces ad revenue so that we don't have to consider ads and things like that to do our show. Let's move on to the last part of the show here. So if you've been watching my after show, then you probably know I've been spying on a group of flat earthers for a project I'm working on. If you don't know this, I work on projects all throughout the month. I try to always have different projects I'm doing. So one of my secret projects involved Nathan Oakley, one of the more rambunctious, I guess that works, flat earthers out there, because he hosts the Flat Earth Debate, which is the dumbest show ever. It's not a debate. And they just basically sit around, pull in someone that will debunk them. They start to debunk them, and then they call them a bunch of names and kick them out. It's really a troll show, and I think he knows it. Now, I wanted, before we move into something else, I want to play one of those clips that I've pulled from his show, because I'm making a video exposing him and exposing his show as a troll show and not a debate show. So here's a quick preview. It's only a few seconds long. This is what happens when someone goes in and debunks these fools. Now, they ask people to come in and debunk them. They say they're going to listen to them and consider it and you know, discuss it. But listen to what happens every single time. Now, this is new. This is brand new.
Needs a distant sun. If the sun's between us and the sky, that can't possibly be the explanation. Given we don't know the distance, you can't use that explanation. Sorry.
So you think the sun could be between us and the sky?
Don't know.
Damn it! Okay, we're back. We had a little bit of an internet hiccup. For those of you that don't know, we're getting our internet fixed on Monday or Tuesday. So if we have a hiccup, just bear with us. Back to it.
It's possible that the sun could be between us and the
Anything's
sky.
possible.
Is that
There's
correct?
a million possibilities. There's a world of possibilities. Like I care about what's possible.
Now, I've already done you the favor of cutting out everything else. I just want you to see what happens when someone starts to educate this guy.
I'm only interested in what's absolutely true, confirmed, validated, empirical.
Well, if you're interested in that, the Earth is a globe, the sun's 93 million miles away. You know, we could prove it many ways, but you won't let Brenda. By the way, I'm showing you this for a reason. I have 2 requests after I play this.
I'm not interested in what's possible, moving on to an assertion that that's what it is. The just so stories I'm tired of.
I just wanted... Yeah, I only wanted to clarify that, because you had said that the sun on your model is between
No, I didn't.
us and the sky.
You're a fucking lying bitch. That's going to piss me off real smart. Yeah, I did not say the sun on my model once. I've not asserted that. That's bullshit.
But you said the
You
sun...
came on yesterday and called me a liar. I don't say on...
Well, I don't think he understands how it works. See, whatever he says is going on is his model. That's what the word model means. Maybe we need to educate him in semantics. Anyway.
The sun on my model, you liar.
He's getting triggered.
You're going to have to make your
So you
straw
think-
man arguments a little less obviously so.
You're a liar. I
So-
don't
so
say that.
is this-
You're a
is-
liar. Brenda, you are
Is
a
the-
liar. That is not the verbiage I use. When you start your sentence saying when you...
I'll do you a favor. I'll go ahead and end it there. So, keep an eye out because I've been at night listening to this, I don't know what you... troll show where, you know, somebody... They make a point, they make a claim, and they say that it means the earth is flat. This happens daily on the Flat Earth debate. Yes, they do it every day. Then I have started to dub them Globe Heroes, like a guy named Rumpus and a woman named Brenda. They come in and they calmly, collectively debunk everything these guys spent 10, 20, or 30 minutes leading to. They do it graciously. They don't get mad. They don't get upset. They get called names. They get yelled at. They get their voices raised at them. They just sit there calmly, you know, and collectively debunking this guy until once he realizes that it's not working and that he's lost, he starts to yell. He starts to call them names, mutes them, calls them more names, and then kicks them out. Now, I'm not going to play a lot more of it. I thought he kicked her out by now, but I might have went back a little further than I thought. I'm going to give him like 10, 15 more seconds. If he doesn't kick her out, we'll go ahead and jump off this because I got other stuff to show you. But just take a listen. She is bringing the truth, and he's not letting her say it.
And we are having the conversation, meaning me, say on my model the sun, blah, 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 misrepresentation, lies and straw men. That makes you a flat-out liar, Brenda.
Hello, Pencil Club.
So you said the sun, the reason that this I was wrong
quick, make something
was
up.
because
Quick,
the sun
make something
was
up.
beneath the sky.
Is
the
this
sun
what I say?
beneath the sky then?
I said I don't know. Maybe you just ignored that part of my representation.
Right.
Right, so I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
So it
Right.
it might be beneath
It
the
could
sky.
be unicorn farts. It could be frogs.
Well, it can't because those don't exist. I think that's the point she's trying to make there, man. But
Singing, creating that light. I haven't got the slightest idea.
I won't say anything. I could say something right now.
Right, but you think it's a possibility.
Do you want to verify that? If you're going to claim that it is close, you better damn well verify it. If you want to claim that it's far away, you better damn well verify that.
We have though. I can now see. This is what she's trying to say. We have verified it. He wants us to fly like Superman up there and try to touch it. I think, or try to like hold a ruler to the sun. I think. I don't know, but I do get what Brenda's doing, and I'm bringing this up for a reason. Of course, I want to invite 3 people on my live show. First, I'd like to invite Brenda. Brenda is like a breath of fresh air when you're listening to Nathan Oakley's show. Because I don't know how Brenda does it. I think Brenda does it because she knows someone needs to get in there and represent reality and science and try to, you know, combat the deceptive things these guys are doing, like Arwen and Ranty and Sleepy and, of course, Nathan. But I want to invite Brenda on because she deserves some recognition. She's been representing science. She's been fighting their lies for a very long time. I was surprised at how long Brenda's been going in there and you know, making sure that she debunks them. And she puts up with so much name calling. They're very despicable people for the way they treat the guests on their show. Then I want to invite Rumpus on. Now, I don't have a clip of Rumpus prepared, but the same thing happens to Rumpus. And I'll end up playing a clip for you in the video I'm going to do, but the third person that I want to invite here is, of course, Nathan Oakley. Now, I know some of you guys watch Nathan Oakley's show. Some of you might even be in the Discord with him. Yes, there are flat earthers that watch my show. Carl's one. He just talked to me on DLive last night. He appreciates other people's opinions. He's trying to learn things. He's trying to figure out his side. So he wants to hear other people's opinions. So if you are one of those people that do hang out in Oakley's Discord, let Oakley know that, one, I'm inviting him on my show, and two, I'll even pay him. I want to pay him all the money NASA gives me for being a shill for one 10-minute appearance over here. He can have all the money that NASA's ever given me. He can have all of it for 10 minutes over here. Somebody make sure he finds out. Let him know. I mean it too.
Me, I say I don't know. I ask very specifically daily. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Yeah, I know, but
we can actually use math. You can use trigonometry and figure it out for yourself. There have been many people who have, they sit down and they're taught how to use trigonometry. And one of the experiments they use after learning is geometry and trigonometry is to calculate it for themselves. And they can do this. And then you can test it with the probes, the satellites, other things that we've actually physically sent to, we have things that monitor our sun. Yes, so there we go again. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Okay, internet hiccup, done. Let's move on. All right, so what else do we have for you? We have one of the dumbest flat earth experiments we have ever seen. And there's a lot of dumb ones out there. And some of the best videos that are out there that have to do with the flat earth are the compilations of experiments that people use to try to prove the flat earth. Well, we've got one from Mr. Poo Poo Word. We saw this on DLive last night. My stream was not behaving yesterday, so I'm going to go ahead and play this here right now. It's only 2.5 minutes long. I think there's like a 30-second intro, so let's go ahead and get into it.
I'm going to demonstrate how to create gravity out of thin air. And we're going to use this space right here, which is just air, to create gravity. Now, this is usually something that can only ever be performed by qualified mathematicians. So I've got an emergency crew standing by in case anything goes wrong. Now, all we need is some water and a little pumping device here and a common or garden balloon.
Now, of course, I want to know in the audience, in the chat, what kind of pump is that? Let me know in the chat while we finish this video. What kind of pump is that?
Okay, and we're going to magically create gravity that doesn't exist in this space at the moment, but we're going to make gravity suddenly appear. So, all right, and now stand by. Are you ready, crew? Okay, right, they're ready just in case. They've got fire extinguishers and everything, just in case anything goes wrong. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up this balloon. Now you see here, you see what's happening? This balloon is now becoming a mass. Oh, you see, it nearly messed up there. Nearly had water all over the place. Could have been dangerous.
Okay, so a couple of members of the audience think it's a penis pump. A couple other members of the audience think it's an enema pump, okay? Or a butt pump, okay? Water siphon. I don't think it's is it a water siphon? Could be. I'm going to go with one of the other two so far. Just to let everybody know, our internet's been acting funky. We have been having a little bit of lag. It's coming, I think, from our internet. So we have people coming out to fix the internet in a few days. Just hang in there with me, okay? It hasn't done it. It only did it like 5 minutes ago. It's actually doing pretty good now, so we'll see what happens.
Dangerous. Okay? You see, I have created a mass out of thin air, just using water. And now we're going to see that all of a sudden, this balloon has created gravity where none existed before. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. There you go. All right. Now I can assure you that that dropped at 9.8 meters per second because when we created the mass, there was suddenly this magical force that came up from the earth and pulled it down.
Well, poo-poo word, 1 second, please. And yes, we did watch this on DLive yesterday. I think I tried to watch it over here and my internet was cutting out. We went to DLive. But poo-poo word, actually, when you let go of the balloon, there was some force occurred from the water shooting out of the back of it, propelling it downward, just so you know.
And that is how you create gravity in your own home. Thank you very much. It's all right, guys. Okay, it's safe now.
That, my friends, was the educated, was the illustrious poo-poo word doing his great experiment. Good job, poo-poo. All right. Now, I don't want to waste any time, but he did another 3-minute video today. So, yeah. He gets a lot of thumbs downs. I do too, though, so it's not a bad thing. Flat Earth fact, he says. Ships do not disappear from the bottom up. He says this. It's a flat Earth fact that ships do not disappear from the bottom up on the horizon. Why do we watch them disappear from the bottom up then? I mean, we watch them. We see it. I mean, with our own eyes. Okay, the horizon is flat. Oh, I'm sorry. This simply isn't true. We can see from the footage near Phuket that the water is most definitely flat. The horizon is flat, and the ships sail simply on the horizon as they go into the distance. We can see that these ships are much farther away than they should be on a globe. No, not true. Unless the ships are... See, before the ships would start to disappear, they would get really small if it was flat. So we'll see. We'll look at your footage and we'll see. In reality, they get too far away for us to see. If that was true, they would just either disappear all at once, or they would get too small to where we can't see them. But that's not what happens. In fact, we can watch the bottoms disappear first. Also, we don't see any color reflected from the ship. That's because they're too far away for light to reach us. Then why does the sunlight reach us, or the moonlight, or the starlight? I mean, regardless, you'd have to say whether you think that the sun is inside the sky or outside of the sky or 93 million miles away, that the sun's light's hitting us. So what's wrong with these boats? It's just the way things are.
Hello, flat Earth researchers, debaters, and debunkers. We're always told that ships get to the horizon and then they disappear from the bottom up. This is simply one of those fallacies that has been perpetuated to perpetuate the belief in the globe. And this may well happen.
Damn it. All right, we're back in.
Eye level. But you see those two ships there on the horizon. My height is maybe just a couple of meters above the water level. So, of course, what happens is, depending on your personal perspective, the ships will just get to the horizon and then they will remain on the horizon as they travel off into the distance. Well, obviously you can see they're quite far away, but that's what they do. You know, you can't tell from here or any kind of zoom whether they're disappearing from the bottom up and all that rubbish.
Hold on. Actually, Poo Poo, I have to interject, and you're not going to like me much. Sorry, guys. Our internet did cut out for like 2 seconds there. I'm actually monitoring the internet, and I can see that we are losing connection for about 1 to 2 seconds. So the buffer shouldn't be for more than a second or two. If you look, these ships, when they're close to us, don't look like that. They actually have a big thing on the bottom of them. So these ships, by definition, are missing about a chunk like this. And then they're missing, of course, the things that go down to the water. And that usually the parts of it that's in the water are, you know, down in it a little bit. But still, we should see a lot more of these ships also. How do I know? Because I've watched you and Ranty show me over and over again. But anyway, keep going, buddy. Keep going.
They just get to the horizon and remain on the horizon. And if they carry on going off into the distance, they just get too far away to see. Even if we're using very high quality optics, there's a limit to how far we can see. So if I just go across here, I think there's another ship somewhere on the horizon over here. Yeah, but this is just the way it is, you know. So people who repeat this idea, there's another ship. That's obviously much larger than the other two. But another thing you can see is that from this great distance, we can't make out any colors.
A question, point to make, Poo Poo. Yeah, I've got an issue here. Why not use something with a better zoom? Because you could zoom into those ships. You've seen other people do it. Why not use a better camera if you want to make this point?
Of the ship. That could be a bright orange or yellow or red ship. We simply can't tell because it's so far away that the color of the light, you know, and color is reflected light. We all know this. And so...
Question, Poo Poo. Hold on, I just had a thought. Why is it, if it's all, like, perfectly flat, and, as you say, water is perfectly flat, why is it that you can't zoom in on it no matter how far away it is? So let's say you go get, like, a really good telescope, one that can see 1,000 miles or something, right? Thanks, Barney, brah. I know. I just want to make sure I keep you guys informed of it. But yeah, theoretically, I mean, I'm just using my brain here, so I know I have a very defective brain, but if it was flat, and the water is flat, and it goes on, you know, over the shape of the Earth, which is far, 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 even you admit that, why can't you just zoom in on them and buy a really, like, a lot better, because we could zoom in on the moon and see, like, things that are, we could see, like, the tiniest craters really, really close up. If you could do that, obviously you could zoom a couple thousand feet away, a couple thousand miles away there. Yeah, it seems like if it was flat, you could zoom in no matter what. Why are you losing these ships if it's, you get what I'm saying here? Shouldn't be losing them at all.
The color just isn't reaching our eyes. So you can see how eventually this ship that's on the horizon will just become part of the horizon. It will just converge with the sky and everything. So, you know, and it's obviously not disappearing from the bottom up. You can still make out.
I don't know, bro. I mean, look, to be honest, I think the only part of the ship we're even seeing is from here up. Right here. See this line? This should be like, you know, the diffraction right here. So that's all converged together, but the ship's close enough to where we can see that part that sticks up really high above it here. You get my drift? You get my drift. Let's let him make his final point.
It's just ridiculous. Of course, the lowest people tell you that ships always disappear from the bottom up. That is just ridiculous. There's another.
Okay, so of course I'm showing this to make a point. Ships disappearing bottom first. let's find a non-idiot here. I have to find... See, that YouTube's so broken, bro. I'm gonna have to use Bing. Ships disappearing on the horizon. Because... No, not ships sinking. Flat Earth ships disappear. No, we don't want anyone that's a flat Earth. Because, you know, we want them actually... Oh, wait. Who's this? No, we don't want the flat Earth damn horizon. You know, this... I actually wanted to make this point, too. If you look at how many... If you use Bing search... They don't try to hide conspiracy videos in their searches. Just look at the names of the channels as they go up. You start to notice that these guys have flooded the internet. It's almost like they don't want people to see anything but those. Now, hold on. Let me try this one more time. We got other people to look at. Let me go to Soundly. Shit, Soundly. It's just nothing you can do, man. The YouTube search is so fundamentally broken. Soundly has some good stuff, but I don't know if he has any ships disappearing. I think he does. Soundly has everything else. Wow, look at that curve. You know, I still haven't seen any flat earthers bring this image up or any of these images up and debunk them. Oh, yes. Okay. Let me get to the ships.
Feet obstructed. And they probably have. They probably have gone there. They probably have made the observations. But they don't have an explanation for them. And so what do? They hide. They divert. They conflate. But no one to this day can explain how an airplane can fly towards me and still go under the horizon while it's...
Oh, shit, son. That's a hardcore debunk right there for you, poo-poo word.
Still hundreds of feet in the air. There are...
So according to their logic, did that plane just crash?
No explanations for these observations that make any sense whatsoever.
Okay, I wish I could find Voice of Reason. Voice of Reason has some great video of boats, but he got them from Soundly, so honestly, I should be able to find him on Soundly. Ooh. Earth Curve Tourism. Oh my god, look at that. Poo-poo word. Bro, why do we get to see only the tops of these skyscrapers when we zoom in on this boat? I mean, seriously, dude, that's just too much right there.
I control you just as in a game. But don't try to fight me back. You can't break me.
Wow. Poo-poo word. You know, I found this in about 45 seconds, man. I have to say, is it because you're deceptive or is it because you're just stupid? I can accept either. The one thing I can't accept, though, is that video I just played. Oh, hold up. Wait a minute. Is this it? Oh, this is more Pontchartrain observations. Oh my god. There's just no way to reconcile it. Look at this. How do you reconcile this? These are the tops of skyscrapers. Not only... That means that the freaking... That means that the... let's see. So the regular houses would be like way down here. And then the earth would be like... Or the land would be like way down here, dude. I mean, come on. Come on. Come on, Phuket word. Come on. Wow. What else you got, Soundly? You got some good stuff, bro. Holy Lord. I mean, this just does it all in. This is how you really take an observation of the curve. This is how you see the curve with your eyes. So I wonder if Phuket Word just ignores this. Whoa! Astrophotography. Look at that, dude. Sometime I have to play that. That is too awesome looking. I wish I could find Voice of Reason, but his channel, VOICEOV Reason? Or is it OF? It's so hard. I wish he would have his... Oh, I put an E in there. It's so hard to find his damn channel, man. Voice of Reason has one of the best videos. Oh, wait. No, we want to search for that. Oh, yeah, we don't have it. Let me see here. Oh, there he is. Voice of Reason. And then again, for Phuket Word, this is one of my favorite videos that debunks the flat earth in just a few seconds here. On Voice, it's VOISOV Reason. My goodness. Can that V be an F? Voice of. I'm just going to have to... Voice of Reason. I know, it's supposed to be Voice of Reason. It's like a play.
Horizon line. This observation clearly debunks any flat earth excuses that the horizon effect is caused by...
Hold on, let me go to his channel and grab that one video, because that video is too good, man. Has he not been posting? His flat earth falsities are so good.
In my video called...
Okay, that's the one we just saw. Where's that one he has of the drones? Oh, it's so good. Oh, proving the earth is not flat part 1, or the horizon.
...is not flat. We live on a spinning globe. It's amazing to me that I actually have to say those words in 2000.
He's got Voice of Reason. So here's how you spell it. I know, that's the only reason it's hard to find his channel. One time you should show earthquake patterns across the plates. It totally proves globe earth. I'll definitely look at it, Roosevelt, buddy. Definitely, yeah. Oh, there it is. There it is. The most epic video ever. I'm going to share it real quick. I'm going to go ahead and share it on Twitter. This is the most epic video when it comes to debunking the flat earth. Because they're like literally no flat earther has the balls to pull this up on their channel. Again, I want to make sure everybody understands. I'm inviting Brenda, Rumpus, and Nathan Oakley. Now, I'm not going to have Nathan Oakley on with them because, you know, it would cause a lot of arguing, fighting, and name calling. I want to get Nathan Oakley in here for a one-on-one conversation where he can't mute me, but we can talk and he can try to understand why I believe in the globe, and he can try to get me to understand why he believes in the flat earth. Because I've never heard him have that conversation, and I'm telling you, having that conversation will expose him. It'll expose not only, I think he'll try to use some of his deceptive tactics on me. I'm really good at handling that type of thing. Anyway, I already offered Nathan, so if you're in his Discord, make sure you tell him, all of my NASA shill money, every dime NASA's ever given me, I'm willing to give that to him if he comes and does a discussion with me here. Make sure somebody lets him know. Anyway, this is for Phuket Word. I should have had this brought up ahead of time, but you guys know, I don't prepare my live show because I edit videos all day. So this poo-poo word is what you would see if you actually got a good camera and then did those observations. And I'm going to play my own music. So, as you can see, this boat is this is how you actually get a good zoom and you watch the boats go over the curve, so you don't have to wonder if they do or not. You can watch them do it. Now, the reason I'm doing this tonight, yes, that Phuket Word video I played for you was from today. He uploaded a video today claiming that boats do not disappear bottom first going over the horizon. Well, this boat, all these boats you're seeing, has this bottom to it. And as you can just see right here, this one, you can't even see the bottom of it because it's over the damn horizon. But Phuket Word would say, wait though, it's actually disappearing because it's too far away. No, it's not. Look, you can see the size of it right here. You can tell how far away it is. This is a perfect day to record this stuff too, because you can tell that the line of the mirage is really low here. Now, this picture is the ultimate picture for poo-poo word. Phuket word. The video you did today, you need to do a video where you pull your footage up and put it next to this footage. Voice of Reason. V-O-Y-S-O-V reason. Show me the curve. Flat Earth falsities. Because your equipment and the manner you're using it to make your determination is ultimately deceptive. It's deceptive, it's wrong, and it's confusing your viewers. There are people that watch you, Phuket word, Phuket, and they actually listen to the stupid stuff you say and believe you when you are provably, observably wrong. NASA didn't do it. It wasn't the Illuminati that are making you lie to these people. It is your ignorance, your stupidity, and your deceitful nature. Don't be offended. Don't get mad. I mean, if you were to pull up footage like this, instead of using your deceptive footage, and actually explain this, the almost entire boat behind the curve, disappearing from the bottom up, no question about it, visible enough to where you can see the details, the color, every little piece of it. And you tried to tell people that this boat didn't disappear bottom up, and the majority of this boat isn't behind the horizon, they would know you're a liar. You're double talking with your crappy footage, and it's deceptive. Fix it. You can fix it and be a good person. You don't have to be a horrible liar. Now, I know that my subscribers are going to say, UNIRock, not again, because this is like my favorite picture ever when it comes to why I believe in the globe, and why, if you're believing in the flat earth, you're letting people lie to you by trust, through your trust. You're trusting them. If you're a flat earther, you're trusting these people. You're letting them fake news you. You're letting them keep you asleep. Just because it's not a big fantastic mystery that the earth is a globe, and just because it's not the conspiratorial side of it, doesn't mean it's not true. It's not how things work. The mystery isn't always reality. The conspiracy isn't always reality, even though there are a lot of people that you saw in this video even, and normally all the videos that I do, that will tell you that every conspiracy is reality. If that was the case, we wouldn't have to wonder. We wouldn't have any question. There'd be no reason to prove something. We could just take any situation and say, which one is fantastic? Which one is mysterious? Which one is conspiratorial? That's true. Now, of course, when it comes to Flat Earth, that's the excuse. When it comes to Nathan Oakley and, you know, when it comes to Jeranism and Bob, it is not possible. These are the tops of buildings. These are the tops of the buildings. This is not a building that got smaller. You get me? You can't argue this with angle of attack. Angle of attack isn't even a thing. It's simply that you're wrong. And if you spend the rest of your life obsessed with this thing that you're wrong about, well, you're not red pilling anyone. You're not waking anyone up. What are you doing? Okay, and yesterday Nathan Oakley asked, what is the difference between elevation and the drop? As you can see through this drone footage, elevation is how high the drone is, and drop is how much the Earth curves back away from you two-dimensionally, if you get my drift. That's the best way to explain it. The whole 8 inches per miles squared thing does not work. It's not correct. You can use it in some equations, I think, right? But it's not for calculating far away drop. It's only for calculating, it's only part of one equation. I've been looking into the 8 inches per mile squared. I just haven't fully read all of it yet. So give me some time. I'll hook you up with it. As Professor Dave said, though, there's a lot more to it than just taking an equation and picking through it. You get me? Barney says, Secure Team recently blamed the earthquakes on helicopters. His video confused me when he gave an explanation for the earthquakes. Helicopters? Secure Team's trying to say helicopters are causing earthquakes now? Guys, this brings me to my ultimate point here before we end up rounding the stream off and heading over to DLive and Periscope. If you let people lie to you, they will. That's rule number 1 of life. If you go off onto the street, go to New York, go somewhere, and you got money, and people are going to come up to you and they're going to try to lie to you to get the money off of you. It might not happen every time you go outside. It's bound to happen the more people you get around. People are just going to ask you for your money. You get me? There's a difference between putting on a good show and somebody choosing to donate. There's a difference between having good content or having a good discussion or having some good thing that you do and people choosing to support you. And then there's a difference between lying to those people to increase the amount of, let's say, trusting people that will sub to you. Like if I come online and spend a significant amount of time telling you that unicorns exist, I'm eventually going to find a group of people to follow me that believe it. There are so many people on the earth now that a small percentage of people will have a mental disorder where they believe it. You get me? And they're going to believe they exist now. Speaking of which, let me show you something crazy. There was a giant squid which people used to think that giant squids were only the things of myth. But they finally filmed a giant squid in American waters in Louisiana. This is actual footage of a giant squid. I mean, a really big one. It's like, I think 7 times as long as a human being. So yes, there are mysteries out there to be solved, but you can't say now that every mythological creature exists just because a couple have been filmed. Take a look at this. It's freaking scary. What's the interesting thing about this? This is so deep in the ocean that no sunlight gets down there. Now look, this tentacle, that looks like a tentacle, right? You see it? It's not a tentacle. That's not a tentacle. That's the entire squid. They said this one was, I think, 20 feet long. It's only the second time that a giant squid has ever been filmed. This is what you would call a kraken, an actual kraken. Look at that thing. So not only do giant squids have a beak that could literally rip apart a huge fish or a human being and eat it, they also have 3 hearts, and they have a propulsion system to go forward and backwards. They can suck the water through to propel themselves forward at incredible speeds, and they can suck water through a different system that they have to go the opposite direction. It's a fantastic creature. The second video ever of a giant squid, this was extremely low. One more time, look at how they filmed it. So first they think that they're just seeing a tentacle. And, oh shit. First they think that they're just seeing a tentacle. And they're like, oh my God, look, there's a tentacle of a squid or something. And then it opens up. That's the whole creature. It's like a giant 20-foot long mussel. It looks like a 20-foot long tentacle. And then it opens up because it probably wanted to eat. Now, the machine that they use in order to try to get creatures to come up to it, the camera looks like a jellyfish. They've made this camera look like a self-illuminating jellyfish. So these big creatures will not be scared. This frame gives you a perspective of how big this thing is. This is the body back here. You can kind of see it. You get me? You know what? Let me turn up the brightness and stuff really quick. I don't want to mess up my stream, but I'm going to do this. Here, take a look with the brightness increased. You see that its body goes back a lot further too. Look, it touches. It thinks it's a jellyfish at first, and once it realizes it touched metal or something else, it kind of gets smart and just goes, "Okay, that was not a jellyfish. I'm out. I'm outie 5,000." So anyway, I wanted to show you that, but my point is, I love a good conspiracy. I love a good mystery. I love a fantastic story. I love researching things out, listening to claims, but people have manipulated the topic of conspiracy theory now for political gain, monetary gain, and scammers now are trying to disguise themselves as YouTubers, as regular people, when really they just know what works. You gotta stop letting it work. You get me? Only donate to people that are willing to hear the questions. They're willing to hear the points. They're willing to hear all the sides. They're willing to be real about it. They're not trying to stick to their belief system while telling you it's a fact. You know? They're willing to give it all a chance. Let's see. I think that's all I've got for you tonight. I was going to let this guy talk for a little bit. We'll save him for tomorrow. I want to try to get Team Skeptic in here again to help me go through his video. Oh my God. Yeah, this one. So this guy thinks he can debunk the South Pole, and it's a pretty quick video. Let's give him a chance. Okay, and we're not listening to his music now. So why is the South Pole fake? Let me know. Let me know, bro. I discovered several big problems with the South Pole. Let me begin by showing you the location of the 60th South Parallel. Everything below the 60th parallel is defined as Antarctic Treaty Area. Independent travel is not allowed below. That's not true. That's just a bold-faced lie right there. A lot of independent travel happens below the 60th. The thing about the treaty that they don't tell you is you can actually walk across Antarctica. You can. You just have to apply for a permit. I don't see what's wrong with that. They don't want a country going in designating that they want to drill for oil there, or they want to tear up the land, or they want to, you know, claim it as part of their country or anything like that. So, you know, they make you go through a, you know, they make it a designated natural area for scientific testing and other things. What's wrong with that? Okay, we believe you. We believe you about this, so go get to your point. Every point along the 60th parallel should have the exact distance to the geographic South Pole. I hope you're not going to use Google Earth to do this, though. Google Earth is not the Earth. It is not. They didn't suck the damn Earth into Google. Why do I have to say these things in 2019? They don't suck things into Google. They have a satellite that goes out and maps areas and then lays those areas out on a rendered 3D object. Sometimes when they lay these things out, they get distances wrong. Sometimes they overlap the images. You get my drift, dude? You can't use Google Earth as anything scientific. It's just for fun. Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. Yep, it's all Google Earth nonsense. That's okay. So let me see here. It was fast, but in short, we have a discrepancy as big as 700 miles. How do we know you didn't jack it up either? It's impossible under the globe model, but the Google Earth isn't our model. It's Google's creation. It's a man's creation. But this revealed another big globe lie. You're going to love. I highly doubt that I'm going to love this, whoever you are. Oh, this is Flat Earth, Pakistan. The distance from the South Pole to the geographic South Pole is 956 miles. Okay, so the distance from the South Pole to the ceremonial South Pole is 1,000 miles. Okay, so the distance from the ceremonial to the geographic is 131. Okay, so oh my God, you really can't think of any logical reason why there are different South Poles in Google Earth. Not the end of the South Pole, fakery. Do you remember how the distance from blah, 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 blah? Sure, yeah. I remember your claim. Sure. Let's see that one more time. Wait a minute. Why would we even consider the ceremonial South Pole? Why would we even consider it? It's just for ceremony purposes, right? I don't even know what the hell that would be. Okay. Come on. Get off the screen there. Get off. I want to see what he says. Every year, they survey that to make sure it's 90 degrees south. Did the ceremonial South Pole look like it was 130 miles away from the geographic South Pole? No, it looks like there's possibly an error. Thanks for subbing, man. It's possibly an error in Google Earth. You know, the fake globe that they made to lay satellite imagery on in order to give us a tool to use to be able to see these satellite images in a more realistic fashion. And no one out there, I don't think you'll find anyone out there that tries to claim that Google Earth is correct all the time or right. Oh, wait, you're kidding me. Did you just put South Pole debunked? South Pole debunked? How about Google Earth debunked? But not really, because I don't think Google Earth even claims to be 100% accurate. See how stupid that sounds? My Lanta. I was going to play a little bit of this dumb talking too, but these are things we can do in the after show, so I think we're good, y'all. I think we're good. What the hell's this? Oh my God, that's Brenda getting flipped out on. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Thank you to everybody that's hanging out. Appreciate all of you. If you like what I do, consider a super chat or just consider checking out my Patreon, UNIRock on Patreon. Anything you do, whether it's $1, $2, $5, it just helps us continue our show. Now, make sure you understand what I do. I spend the day editing videos, writing videos, researching and filming, and then taking the creating graphics, creating tutorials, whatever it is I'm doing, I do it during the day. And then in the evening, I take a couple hours after dinner around that time to sit down and throw together a live show. And then we hook that up and we go do the after show on DLive and Periscope. So if you want to come to the after show, here's the link. I'm going to drop it in the chat. So please, if you guys have any... What the hell, bro? It's saying I'm not connected. Tell some Chuck Norris jokes? Maybe on the after show, buddy. Hold on. Hold on. I got to log into chat real quick. Let me log into the chat so I can drop the DLive link. There we go. Had to log into my chat. Sorry, guys. All right. I think we got it all, right? Okay, yeah. I got to make my announcement one more time. I'd like to invite... Nathan Oakley claims that he is a flat... Oh, hey, thanks, Secret Shadow Gov. Appreciate you. Make sure NASA... NASA? Why isn't NASA donating? NASA, where's my money? Make sure any one of you that is in Nathan Oakley's Discord, let him know if he really is a debunker of the flat earth, there would be no problem with him coming on a show to discuss why he believes in the flat earth and bring his best reasons why he believes in the flat earth. And with the intent, I'd like him to come here with the intent of, by the end of us talking, he understands why I believe in the globe, and he represents himself in a way to help me understand why he believes in the flat earth. Because I've never really seen him do that. He always gets angry, he always kicks somebody out, he always mutes people, he always, you know, puts out some really silly argument and then says flat earth proven, globe earth debunked. But in reality, almost 99% of every one of Quantum Eraser and Oakley's presentations that I've watched in the last week or two, I have easily known what the debunk was myself. So I'd like to get him in here to talk. Now, I don't think he'll come. So I've offered him all of my NASA shill money that I've been given in the last 5 years. Every dime NASA's given me in the last 5 years. He can have it if he just comes and does that show with me. I won't mute him. So he'll have the royal treatment. Now, some of you remember when I interviewed some of the people who I was accusing of being behind the Q conspiracy. I interviewed them. We had great conversations. And I had been telling them that they were behind Q, and they had been insulting me on their show for a long time when I did that. Now, if I could sit down and have a great conversation with those guys, even though we had that thing going on, me accusing them of posting the posts themselves, I think if I can have a good conversation with them, then me and Nathan Oakley could at least conversate and understand each other by the end of it. Yeah, because after watching his show, I hate saying it, I think he's doing it on purpose. I think he's a troll that's undercover to get those donos, bros. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Keep an eye out. We're going to be uploading, and we'll be streaming a lot more on YouTube as soon as we get them here to fix the damn internet. Internet's working now, I tell you, man. It's only during the middle of the show it starts messing up. YouTube has that happen sometimes. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you. That will be the end of tonight's show, but we're heading to DLive and Periscope to do the after show. Hopefully, I'll see you there. We are now partnered with DLive, so if you have any buffering or anything like that, you can change the source. You can go down to 360, you can go down to 480p, whatever works. See you over there.